Before money existed, humanity lived in a completely different world. There were no banks, no paper bills, no numbers inside phone screens, and no digital transactions moving through invisible systems. Survival depended entirely on what a person physically owned. If someone wanted food, tools, clothing, or shelter, they had to trade directly with another person. A farmer exchanged crops for meat. A fisherman traded fish for firewood. Every trade depended on whether both sides agreed. This system was simple, but it was deeply flawed. Because what happens when the person you need refuses what you have? What happens when your goods lose value before you even reach the market? Slowly, humanity realized something important. Civilization could not continue growing this way forever. As villages became towns, and towns became civilizations, trade became more complicated. People traveled farther distances, markets grew larger, and human needs became more diverse. Carrying heavy goods across deserts, rivers, and mountains was exhausting and dangerous. Sometimes traders spent days traveling, only to discover nobody wanted their products. The barter system created frustration, delays, and conflict. Humanity needed something easier, something lighter, something everyone could agree had value. And for the first time in history, humans began searching for a universal solution. At first, many strange objects were used as early forms of money. Different civilizations experimented with shells, salt, stones, beads, animal teeth, and even rare pieces of metal. These objects were valuable not because they had magical powers, but because people collectively believed they were valuable. That single idea would eventually change the world forever. Money was never truly about the object itself. It was about trust. For the first time, humans created a system where belief alone could determine value. Then came one of the most important discoveries in human history: gold. Gold was different from everything else humanity had used before. It did not rust. It did not decay. It was rare, beautiful, and incredibly difficult to obtain. Across ancient civilizations, gold quickly became a symbol of wealth, status, and power. Kings stored it. Empires fought wars over it. Entire economies began forming around it.
Here is your coin.
Soon, gold coins were created,
Your best price?
allowing
40 for the
trade to
pair,
become
fair deal.
faster, easier, and more organized than ever before. Whoever controlled gold controlled power itself. Money was no longer just a survival tool. It became the foundation of kingdoms, economies, and human ambition. As trade expanded across continents, carrying large amounts of gold became dangerous. Merchants could be robbed. Ships carrying treasure disappeared into storms and oceans. Transporting physical wealth across long distances was risky and inefficient. To solve this problem, early banks and governments introduced paper money. At first, many people distrusted it. A simple piece of paper seemed worthless compared to heavy gold coins, but banks promised that every paper note represented real gold stored safely somewhere else. Slowly, people accepted the idea, and over time, something extraordinary happened. Humans stopped trusting the gold itself and started trusting the system behind it.
That moment changed civilization forever. Money was no longer physical value. It became belief. Banks grew larger,
financial systems became stronger. Massive vaults stored wealth behind thick steel doors, while numbers written on paper began controlling businesses, governments, and entire nations. Economies expanded rapidly. Cities became larger than ever before. Factories rose across the world during the Industrial Revolution, and millions of people spent their lives working for money instead of survival alone. For the first time in history, human life itself became deeply connected to financial systems. Then came another transformation, the modern age. Coins slowly disappeared from daily life. Paper money became cards. Banks became invisible digital networks. Instead of carrying physical cash, people carried plastic cards and mobile phones. A simple tap could buy food, clothes, transportation, or even homes. Today, trillions of dollars move across digital systems every single day without anyone physically touching money at all. Most modern wealth no longer exists as paper or gold. It exists only as numbers stored inside computers. And now, humanity is entering another uncertain chapter. Cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, and digital economies are beginning to reshape the meaning of money once again. Some people believe digital currencies will create freedom from banks and governments. Others believe humanity is becoming too dependent on invisible systems controlled by technology. For the first time in history, money is becoming something humans cannot even physically see. And that raises a frightening question. What happens if those systems fail? Imagine a future where cash completely disappears, every transaction tracked, every purchase monitored, every financial decision controlled by algorithms and digital systems. What happens if the power goes out? What happens if trust in the system collapses? Because the truth is, money itself has never had real value. Gold only mattered because humans believed it did. Paper only worked because societies trusted governments and banks. Even digital money exists only because billions of people collectively agree that it exists. Money is not truly power. Belief is power. For thousands of years, humanity has built civilizations, fought wars, conquered nations, and shaped the modern world around a single invisible idea: trust. Money changed the way humans live, think, and survive. It created empires and destroyed them. It built cities, fueled innovation, and influenced almost every major event in human history. But in the end, money was never the true force controlling humanity. Human belief was. And maybe the most important question is not how money was created, but what humanity will choose to believe next.